In a quaint little village situated amidst rolling hills, a stranger arrived. The villagers, known for their kind and accommodating nature, warmly welcomed the newcomer. They opened their hearts and homes, taking him in as one of their own. The stranger, grateful for their generosity, settled in happily and soon became an integral part of the tight-knit community. Decades passed, and the stranger lived a fulfilling life, watching his children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren grow. His family thrived, spreading their roots deeper into the village, intertwining their lives with those of the villagers. Over the years, the line between the stranger's descendants and the original villagers blurred as both communities became closely intertwined. However, as time went on, a shift occurred within the descendants of the stranger. Fueled by pride and a sense of entitlement, a few of them began to lay claim over the village. They felt they had acquired a special status due to their lineage, separate from the original inhabitants. Their newfound arrogance was met with resistance and anger from the indigenes, who viewed the village as their own, built by their ancestors over centuries. Tensions escalated, and what was once a harmonious village became a hotbed of division and conflict. The descendants of the stranger passionately defended their imagined rights, while the indigenes fiercely fought to protect their ancestral land. The peaceful existence the villagers had enjoyed for so long was shattered, replaced by a bitter war of words and actions. The village became a battlefield of ideologies, where lines were drawn, allegiances were tested, and friendships turned to hostility. The once united community was bitterly divided, and the very essence of the village seemed to hang in the balance. But amidst the chaos, there were those who refused to be consumed by hatred and prejudice. They remembered the stranger, who had arrived with nothing but hope and had been welcomed by open hearts. They believed in the power of unity and community. These individuals refused to take part in the feud, instead striving to bridge the divide that had grown between them. They yearned for a peaceful resolution that would bring both communities back together once more. Their voices of reason gradually gained traction, and as the war raged on, fatigue and frustration began to outweigh anger and aggression. A glimmer of understanding emerged, as both sides realized that the village was stronger when united rather than torn apart. It took time, patience, and immense effort, but eventually, a truce was negotiated, and the villagers and the descendants of the stranger agreed to put their differences aside. They recognized that the roots they had planted together ran deep, and that their shared history was far more important than the grievances that had driven them apart. The village began the gradual process of healing, as friendships were repaired and old bonds were rekindled. The war had left scars, but it also taught them the vital lesson of cherishing what they had rather than laying claim to it. In the end, the village emerged from the conflict stronger, their unity harder to break than ever before. The descendants of the stranger learned the value of humility and gratitude, embracing their role as part of a greater whole. And the indigenes learned the strength that came from inclusivity, recognizing that diversity could enrich their lives rather than dividing them. And so, the stranger's legacy lived on through the generations, not as a symbol of division, but as a reminder of the power of acceptance and the beauty that springs forth when strangers become one with a village.